Hey everybody! So this little video is called How to Surf Monoblob. And the first question you might have is, what is monoblob? So I think quite a lot of you will probably at around this time be finding you've got more time on your hands and you may be in an imposed situation where you're not really allowed to go out so much. And some of us have known there would be a time like this coming up, and we've been preparing for many years, but we've also been going through a process called monoblob. And monoblob as a term came around a few years ago, and more of us were starting to realize there were times when we just couldn't function. And I think so many of us are programmed to be these multifaceted, dynamic beings who do lots of stuff. And monoblob is the opposite. It's mono. It can only do one thing, if even that, and it's a kind of blob. It's not inspiring, it's not dynamic, it's just blobbing. And I know for myself, at first I wondered what was wrong with me. And I was actually doing training at the time in internal family systems, which is an evidence-based psychotherapeutic modality. And it felt like I had a polarity with me, normal me, and monoblob me. And these points where I'd just be like, kind of paralyzed and very uninspiring. And thankfully, in our training, we were looking at polarities one day. And so I had somebody working with me, and then I went into my system and looked at my monoblob part, and then I realized when I was there that it wasn't a deficiency, it wasn't a polarity, that it's actually timed perfectly, and it's like more of a switch. We switch on and we switch off. And that really helped me to accept those states of being and to not think that there's something wrong with me. And this is what we're coming out of right now, is where we've been programmed to be productive, be yang, always have your finger on the pulse, always do a million things at once. Monoblob can be very, very scary at first, because it's like, there's something wrong with me. I don't know how to do anything. I'm redundant of any sort of personality. And actually, it's perfect, because we are to go slower. And in the astrology of 2020, most of the planets are retrograde, which is a lot more about introspection and working behind the scenes to get things right in our way. And we are now in this point where we can't go out so much. And in the UK, where I'm based right now, we got our lockdown yesterday, and I'd just come out of doing a lot of big work. So I was totally monoblob, and actually, it was just a day off. And I couldn't think what I'm to do next. There was nothing inspiring about me whatsoever, and I just had a duvet day, and it was really great. And then I've woken up today ready to go. And I've learned to accept my days where I'm monoblob, and so many of my friends, I found a lot of male friends have found it really, really difficult, because again, the patterning within which their male body vessel has been incarnated is also, there's a lot of projection onto men for being, go-getter, more yang, and for women to be more yin. And I know that this is all going to be rejigging. We've all got both in us, but I find a lot of men in cities are finding monoblob really problematic, because they keep going into, there's something wrong with me, I'm broken. And we're not broken, we're just on pause to actually rejig and process latent codes and healing, and to just decompress. So not much goes on when we're in monoblob, and it's brilliant. But then what I find is I have these periods of just wall staring, and then suddenly one day I just snap out of it and I do a million things again. But it's a very, very big part of my life right now, and I'm very grateful for it. And I'm grateful now to know I'm in monoblob, and also to see it for what it is. And I found it really helpful, and so have a lot of my friends and co-creators, to just say to each other, I'm in monoblob, because there are waves, and when we know somebody else is kind of down, There's no point in expecting anything from them, but we also know they're going to come back good. So I think we have to develop systems that are more accepting of monoblob because it's a facet in so many of our lives, and just be like, monoblob, I just give that utterance and then just go and do our monoblob. So just wanted to explain to you that if you are going through monoblob at the moment, it's really normal and it leads to brilliant things because you come back, you're just like in a chrysalis. And in a chrysalis, you are just a little blobby thing, but you're going to come out a butterfly. So if you want, please start to utilize the term monoblob. People have started saying monoblobbing, and one friend would just say monoblobalicious. And yeah, it's just a really good way of being like, don't rely on me for anything right now, but I will come out good. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're monoblob, please surrender. It's the best thing you can do. Take care.